There are moments in life that feel overwhelming, moments where the weight of the world presses down and you wonder if you're really the right person for the challenge in front of you. But I want to tell you today, you were made for this moment. You're not here by accident. The circumstances you're in, the opportunities you have, even the obstacles you face, they are all part of a bigger picture that you might not fully see yet. There's a reason you were placed in this family, in this community, in this time in history. Every gift you've been given, every lesson you've learned, even the pain you've endured, none of it is wasted. Think about it. A seed has everything inside it to become the tree it's meant to be, but it still has to go through the dirt, the darkness, the pressure. That's what prepares it to grow. In the same way, the struggles and seasons you've walked through have been shaping you for something greater than you can imagine. You may feel unqualified. You may think, I don't have enough experience. I don't have enough strength. I'm not ready. But the truth is, the very fact that you're here, breathing, and still standing is proof that you have what it takes to step into what's ahead. The resources you need, the wisdom you'll require, the courage you must find, it will all come as you take the step forward. So stop disqualifying yourself. Stop waiting for a better time. There's no mistake in your timing. There's no error in your design. You have been placed exactly where you are with what you have for a purpose that's bigger than your fear. When life feels uncertain, when the pressure mounts, remember this. You are not alone in this moment. You have been equipped, strengthened, and guided here for a reason. And the very challenge you're facing right now may be the stage for your greatest victory. So lift your head, take a deep breath, and step forward with faith. You were made for this moment. Don't let it pass you by. You are not here by accident. Your placement is intentional. There's a reason your life looks the way it does right now. There's a reason you were born in this generation, in this place, and in your specific set of circumstances. None of it is random. Every detail of your journey has been woven together with purpose. The people you've met, the doors that have opened, and even the ones that have closed have all been pieces of a larger design. Sometimes it's easy to believe that life is just a series of coincidences, a random chain of events that lead us wherever we end up. But when you begin to look closer, you can see a pattern, a direction that points to the fact that you have been positioned for something specific. Think about all the moments that have shaped you. There are things you've experienced that others may never understand. And yet those moments are exactly what have given you your perspective, your empathy, your resilience. The environment you grew up in, whether comfortable or challenging, has shaped how you see the world. The values you hold dear, the passions that stir your heart, the things that make you come alive, these are not accidents. They've been formed in you for a reason. Your story is unique because your role is unique. Consider the timing of your life. Why were you born in this century instead of 100 years ago? Why do you live in your country, your city, your neighborhood, among your particular circle of relationships? Every era in history has its needs, its challenges, its opportunities. And the fact that you are here now means that you have something to contribute in this exact time and place. There are problems that only your skills, your insight, and your personality can address in the way they need to be addressed. There are people who will only hear truth, encouragement, or hope in the way you communicate it. There are roles that only you can fill because you are the one who has lived your life and learned your lessons. Even the detours in your life have been part of this placement. You might have taken paths you thought were wrong turns or faced seasons where nothing made sense, but looking back, you can see how those experiences brought you to where you are now. Sometimes the most painful moments are the ones that prepare you most deeply. They teach you perseverance. They develop compassion. They sharpen your focus. And without those moments, you wouldn't have the depth or strength that you carry today. When you start to see life through this lens, you realize that you have been assigned to your present situation with precision. The relationships you have, the talents you possess, the challenges you're facing, they are all part of your preparation. Just like a key is cut with intentional grooves to fit one specific lock, your life has been shaped to fit the opportunities and purposes ahead of you. The events of your past, even the ones you would have never chosen, have carved into you the exact shape you need to step into the door that was made for you. It's easy to compare yourself to others and feel like they're more qualified, better connected, or more talented. But their placement isn't your placement. Their design isn't your design. The reason you're where you are right now is because you are meant to influence, serve, and impact in ways they cannot. You've been given experiences and insights that are tailored to the needs around you. Your unique journey has positioned you to see things others overlook, to understand struggles others can't relate to, and to speak into lives in a way that resonates deeply. You might not feel ready for where you are. You might think someone else could do it better. But your intentional placement means that you have what's needed to fulfill the role you've been given. Even if you're still growing, even if you still have doubts, you have been placed in the exact environment that will grow you into the person you need to become. Where you are is not a mistake. The fact that you are alive right now in this season with your particular set of skills and experiences is not random. There's an intentional design to it all. A bigger story being told, and you have been written into it with care and precision. Every gift, lesson, and hardship has prepared you for now. There is nothing in your life that has been wasted. Every skill you've developed, every insight you've gained, every moment of struggle you've endured has been shaping you into the person you are today. Sometimes it's easy to see the value of the good things, the talents that come naturally to you, the opportunities you've been given, the moments when everything seemed to align in your favor. Those feel like blessings, and they are. But the truth is, the hard seasons, the disappointments, and the challenges have done just as much, if not more, to prepare you for what you are facing now. The gifts you carry are not just random abilities. They are tools carefully placed in your hands, meant to be used in this season of your life. You may have thought some of your skills were insignificant or unrelated to your current challenges, but over time, they've been adding up, building a foundation for something greater. Perhaps you learned discipline through a job you didn't love, or you gained patience through a relationship that tested you. Maybe you developed problem-solving skills because you had to figure things out when no one else could help. Each of those experiences, whether pleasant or painful, has been part of a process of equipping you. Lessons often come disguised as setbacks. You may have gone through seasons where you questioned why things didn't work out, why doors closed, or why certain dreams seemed to be delayed. In those moments, it can feel like you're being held back, but in reality, you're being prepared. Every closed door taught you something about resilience. Every disappointment forced you to see possibilities you would have otherwise ignored. Every delay refined your patience and deepened your understanding. These are not small things. They are the very qualities you need to navigate this moment successfully. Hardship is a teacher that no one volunteers for, yet it produces strength that nothing else can. When you've walked through difficulty, you gain a depth of character that can't be faked. You learn endurance because giving up wasn't an option. You learn empathy because you felt the weight of pain yourself. You learn perspective because you've seen that struggles can be survived and even turned into something meaningful. These qualities are like invisible armor. People may not see them at first glance, but they make you stronger than you realize. It's easy to think that preparation for life's big moments will come in a neat, organized way, like formal training or a carefully planned sequence of steps. But most of the time, it happens in the midst of real life. It happens when you're working a job you think is temporary, but you're actually developing the leadership skills you'll need later. It happens when you're caring for someone else and learning selflessness in a way that will shape how you handle responsibility in the future. It happens when you fail, and in that failure, you discover a new approach that will eventually lead you to success. When you look back, you might start to connect the dots. You'll notice how a challenge you faced years ago taught you exactly what you needed to handle the situation you're in now. You'll remember a piece of advice someone gave you or a lesson you learned through trial and error and realize that it's the very thing helping you move forward today. Even the moments you thought were detours or wasted time are revealed to be essential chapters in your story. Every season you've walked through, whether it felt like progress or not, has been adding to your readiness. Your victories built your confidence. Your mistakes taught you wisdom. Your waiting seasons taught you trust. And your heartbreaks gave you compassion. All of these elements combine to create a unique blend of experience that equips you for opportunities and challenges others may not be able to handle in the same way. You are standing in this moment with a toolkit full of resources you may not even recognize you have. But when the need arises, those tools will surface. The discipline you learned years ago will help you push through when things get hard. The courage you built in the face of past fears will empower you to take a step into the unknown. The creativity you developed when you had limited resources will enable you to find solutions others can't see. This is why you can face the present with confidence. You're not starting from scratch. You've been building toward this for a long time, often without realizing it. Every challenge, every victory, every seemingly insignificant moment has been a stepping stone that has brought you here. Nothing has been wasted, and nothing has been accidental. Everything has been working together to prepare you for the season you are in. Right now. Feeling unqualified doesn't mean you're not ready. There's a difference between your feelings and your reality, and in many cases, your feelings can be misleading. You might look at the challenges in front of you and think you're not enough, not smart enough, strong enough, experienced enough, or prepared enough. You might see all the ways you fall short and assume that disqualifies you from stepping forward. But the truth is, readiness is not the absence of fear or doubt. It's the willingness to move forward in spite of them. So often people wait for a perfect moment when they will finally feel capable, when they will have all the skills, all the knowledge, and all the resources they think they need. But that moment rarely comes. If you look back at the turning points in your life, you'll notice that you often stepped into them feeling unsure, nervous, and even unprepared. And yet, as you took the first steps, you began to find the strength, clarity, and solutions you needed along the way. Readiness is often discovered in motion, not before it. The feeling of being unqualified can actually be a sign that you are exactly where you need to be. It keeps you humble, willing to learn, and open to guidance. People who feel overqualified can sometimes miss opportunities to grow because they rely too much on what they already know. But when you're aware of your limitations, you're more willing to adapt, ask questions, and seek help. This openness becomes one of your greatest strengths. Consider the fact that many of the most impactful people in history didn't feel ready for the roles they stepped into. They faced situations that were bigger than their perceived abilities, and yet their willingness to act, to learn, and to persevere made all the difference. They didn't wait to feel completely qualified. They started where they were with what they had and learned the rest along the way. You have that same ability within you. Sometimes the reason you feel unqualified is because you're comparing yourself to someone else's journey. You see their confidence, their success, or their abilities, and you measure yourself against them, but you're not meant to walk their path. You're meant to walk your own. What they have is for their assignment, and what you have, no matter how small it may seem, is for yours. When you shift your focus from comparison to contribution, that sense of inadequacy can drive you to study harder, practice more, and work with greater focus. In that way, it becomes a motivator rather than a barrier. Instead of letting it hold you back, you can let it sharpen you. The process of growing into a role is part of what makes you effective in it. You're not meant to have it all figured out before you start. You're meant to grow as you go. There's also the reality that some of the qualities that matter most in life aren't about technical skill or advanced knowledge. They're about character. Things like integrity, perseverance, empathy, and humility. These traits can't be taught in a classroom or learned overnight. They're developed through the way you live your life. If you have them, you're already more qualified than you think, because these are the qualities that sustain success over the long term. The truth is, the very challenges that make you feel unqualified are the ones that will shape you into the person who can handle them. It's in the process of facing them head on that you gain the wisdom, resilience, and creativity you'll need for the future. You may not have every answer right now, but you have the capacity to find the answer. You may not have all the strength you think you need, but you can build it one step at a time. You have to remind yourself that qualification is not just about credentials or prior experience. It's about adaptability, willingness, and the courage to show up. The fact that you feel unqualified means you recognize the weight of what's before you, and that awareness can make you more careful, more intentional, and more committed. Many people disqualify themselves simply because they don't feel ready, when in reality, readiness grows in the doing, not in the waiting. When you begin to move forward despite the doubts, something shifts inside you. You start to see evidence of your own capability. You begin to solve problems you didn't think you could handle. You start to build confidence that isn't based on theory, but on lived experience. And as you keep moving, you discover that the gap between feeling unqualified and actually being ready is much smaller than you imagined. The timing of your life is never a mistake. Every season you've lived through, every opportunity that came your way, and even the ones that passed you by have been part of a larger rhythm that is often only visible in hindsight. It's natural to question why certain things happened when they did, why you had to wait so long for something you deeply wanted, or why some events seemed to arrive earlier than you expected. But each moment has carried its own purpose, even when it didn't align with your personal schedule. Timing shapes not only what happens in your life, but who you are when it happens. An opportunity that comes too early might overwhelm you because you haven't yet developed the resilience or wisdom to handle it. A challenge that arrives too late might find you unmotivated or distracted. But when the timing is right, you meet those moments with the strength, insight, and capacity that you've been quietly building over time. This is why patience can be such a powerful force. It allows the unseen preparation to take place so that when the moment arrives, you're not just present, you're ready. Delays can feel like detours, but they often serve as necessary training grounds. A season of waiting isn't wasted time. It's an environment where your character is refined and your skills are sharpened. You might learn discipline by having to persist through something repetitive and unexciting. You might develop perspective by watching others walk through challenges before you face them yourself. You might even gain clarity about what you truly want and what you thought you wanted but didn't actually need. The waiting isn't just about what's coming. It's about who you're becoming in the meantime. The moments that feel sudden or unexpected are also not accidents. Sometimes a door opens quickly and it can feel like you've been thrown into something without warning. But if you look closely, you'll often realize that your past experiences have been quietly preparing you for this, even if you didn't know it. A skill you picked up years ago suddenly becomes useful. A relationship you built casually turns out to be a key connection. The timing feels sudden, but the preparation has been happening all along. There's also a beauty in recognizing that your timeline doesn't have to match anyone else's. It's easy to feel behind when you see others reaching milestones sooner than you. You might think you've missed your chance or that you're somehow less successful because your progress looks different. But life isn't a race against other people. It's a journey that unfolds uniquely for each person. The timing of your life is tailored to you, and comparing it to someone else's can blind you to the value of your own path. Sometimes the timing feels painful because it forces you to let go of your expectations. You might have pictured your life unfolding in a certain order by a certain age with certain achievements, and when that doesn't happen, it can feel discouraging. But what you see as a delay might actually be a rescue from something that wasn't right for you. What you see as a missed opportunity might be protection from a path that would have led to unnecessary struggle. The timing of your life is not about punishing you or keeping you from what you want. It's about aligning your steps with what will truly help you flourish. Moments of alignment can feel almost miraculous. You meet the right person at just the right time. The resource you need shows up the week before you need it. A piece of advice you overhear suddenly answers a question you've been wrestling with. These moments are reminders that the timing of your life isn't random. It's part of a design that works on a scale you can't always see. When you learn to trust the timing, you also learn to be present. You stop rushing through seasons, desperate to get to the next stage, and instead begin to appreciate the unique opportunities and lessons available right now. Each season has its own work, its own relationships, its own joys, and its own challenges. By fully engaging with the present, you prepare yourself more naturally for whatever comes next. Even the moments you wish you could go back and change are part of the tapestry of timing. The choices you made, the mistakes you learned from, and the successes you celebrated have all been building toward the person you are becoming. If the timing had been different, you wouldn't have learned the same lessons or developed the same strengths. What you see as imperfect timing may actually have been perfect preparation. The more you reflect on your life, the more you can begin to see patterns. Moments when you thought you were ready but weren't, or times when you felt unprepared but somehow rose to the occasion. These patterns show that timing has always been at work, even when you didn't notice it. It can be humbling to realize that the timing of your life is part of something much bigger than you, but it can also be deeply reassuring. It means that nothing is wasted, nothing is truly late, and nothing arrives without purpose. Your current challenge can become your greatest victory. Challenges have a way of feeling final when you're in the middle of them. They can seem like walls too high to climb, storms too strong to survive, or weights too heavy to carry. In those moments, it's easy to believe that what you're facing is meant to break you. But often, the very obstacles that seem determined to stop you are the ones that will ultimately reveal your strength, grow your character, and open doors you didn't even know were there. Every challenge carries within it an opportunity. It might not be obvious at first, especially when you're dealing with uncertainty, fear, or pain. But adversity forces you to think differently, to act boldly, and to grow in ways you wouldn't if life were always smooth. It strips away what's unnecessary, focuses you on what truly matters, and teaches you lessons that comfort never could. Sometimes the greatest shifts in life happen not because everything went according to plan, but because things fell apart and you had to find another way forward. When you face a challenge, you're also given the chance to prove something to yourself. You may not feel like you're strong enough or capable enough, but as you push through, you begin to see evidence of resilience you didn't know you had. You discover that you can adapt, endure, and even thrive in situations that once terrified you. And once you face something difficult and overcome it, you carry that confidence into every future challenge. It's also worth remembering that challenges are often the birthplace of creativity. When resources are limited or the usual paths are blocked, you're forced to think outside the box. You might come up with ideas or solutions that you would have never considered if you weren't under pressure. This creativity doesn't just solve the problem at hand. It becomes a skill you can use again and again in all kinds of circumstances. The process of overcoming challenges also shapes how you relate to others. When you've been through something hard, you gain empathy for those who are struggling. You become more compassionate, more patient, and more willing to help. You can encourage others not with empty words, but with the authority of someone who has walked through the fire and come out on the other side. Your story becomes a source of hope for people who might be ready to give up. Many times, the very things that feel like setbacks are actually setups, where a closed door can push you toward an opportunity you never would have noticed otherwise. A failure can teach you lessons that success never could. A disappointment can redirect you towards something far better than what you originally wanted. Seen in this light, challenges stop being purely negative and start becoming powerful turning points. This doesn't mean challenges are easy or that you should minimize the pain they cause. It's okay to acknowledge that what you're going through is difficult. But alongside that honesty, you can also hold on to the belief that there's purpose in the process. That belief changes the way you approach the struggle. It keeps you moving forward instead of giving up. Your greatest victories rarely come without a fight. The deeper the struggle, the sweeter the breakthrough. When you finally overcome something that seemed impossible, the satisfaction and growth you experience are worth far more than if it had come easily. You begin to see that the challenge didn't just test you, it transformed you. If you look back on your life, you'll likely find that some of your proudest moments were born from your hardest seasons. You'll remember the times when you thought you couldn't go on, but somehow found the strength to keep moving. Those moments become milestones that remind you of what's possible when you refuse to quit. And as you face new challenges, you can draw courage from those past victories, knowing that you've been here before and made it through. So whatever you're facing right now, no matter how big, how painful, or how impossible it feels, remember this: it has the potential to become one of the defining victories of your life. The struggle you're in today can be the story you tell tomorrow about how you found your strength, your courage, and your purpose. It may take time. It may take perseverance. But on the other side of this, you will be stronger, wiser, and more prepared for whatever comes next. And one day, you'll be able to look back and say with confidence that what once looked like your greatest challenge became your greatest victory.